You are now listening to Between Us Girls, the podcast, where we discuss life's fuckeries and then some over wine.
Welcome to our show. This is Michelle,
Danielle,
Jen,
and this is
Between Us Girls.
And if you stumbled upon our show by mistake, then you can always listen to us on SoundCloud, Google Play, Stitcher, and the always popular iTunes. On social media, on Facebook, Between Us Girls, the podcast, IG, Between Us Girls Podcast, Twitter, at Girl Talk and Wine, and you can join our Facebook group. Just search Between Us Girls in the groups. Our fan of the week this week is the infamous, the incredible Stacey Brown.
Yay!
Hi, yay! Hi, Stacey.
Woo, woo, woo. We have a special set of guests here with us from the Why Not Sports podcast.
Hi, guys.
What's up?
What's going on, ladies? Appreciate y'all having us.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So we've got DMurph and Roy here, and we're going to get into some pretty intense topics today. People might cry. How men and women struggle to communicate with each other, and then why more men aren't emotionally open. And then we're going to close out the show with a little bit of a sports trivia. I hope y'all are ready for this.
I hope so, too.
It's up my alley.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one, and I don't want no cheating.
Oh, can't use the cell phone?
No.
It's no cheating for y'all then, probably, huh?
Yeah, for us, too, because I was like, I don't know nothing.
That's all right. You don't have to answer any questions. It's going to be for them, too.
All right. I appreciate that. Appreciate the welcome.
Okay, so can you let our listeners know how they can find you guys before we get started?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, my name is DMurph, and we're myself and Big Roy here. I'll let him introduce himself shortly, but we're part of Why Not Sports, which is a podcast that talks about the good, bad, and the ugly of sports and how it impacts your everyday life. So, Big Roy will definitely add to it, but he's a former Division I player, went to University of Texas in El Paso, so he's definitely doing big things.
Yes, ma'am.
With me, collabing with me, and I'm just glad to be on with you guys, and we can be found on SoundCloud, Google Play, as well as iTunes and most podcast directories.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Big Roy, co-host with my man DMurph here. Brought me along his team. Ever since then, we've been rocking. We were rocking for about 3-4 years now, almost. So
yeah, total. Yeah. When I first basically,
when we first came out here, so we've been rocking ever since, and ever since then, it's been linked up together. So why not sports?
Can y'all sing a little bit of your theme song for us?
Sing.
Hey, this is a punishment for earlier, okay?
Yeah. And well, basically, I was singing because Big Roy, I don't want him to embarrass me, so I embarrass myself. This guy right here got vocals. He used to be in the choir.
Oh, did you?
What choir? Like middle school?
They don't listen to this, man.
See, you ain't got to say you gonna be at home. See, for some of the listeners that might heard Why Not Sports, they know you tend to be the real humble guy, and I'm the more loud one. But you are tuning in to Why Not Sports with the homie DMurph, and then it's why not? Then why not? So that's all I'm gonna say. That's kind of like my. You
got to listen to it. It'll have you boogieing. That's all I'm saying.
Appreciate that too. That is from I Am Justified, which is a local Houstonian artist too, that helped me produce that intro.
Excellent. Okay, so before we get into our discussion, what are we sipping on?
We are sipping on Buttercream Chardonnay. Vintage is 2015. The alcohol content is 13.5. And we will be rating this on appearance, aroma, body, finish, and taste.
Is it good or not?
It's strong.
It is at first taste. Yeah.
I'm almost done with mine.
Well, here's an interesting piece of trivia for you. You don't have this. You are all guys who run punishment. So.
Yeah, I know.
So what do you guys do with the ones y'all don't like? Y'all just never drink it again, or?
We don't normally do
repeat.
Repeat.
Yeah.
So
we haven't had
we always try a different kind of wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of wines
about
out
to
there.
say,
So
Right.
they're going to be doing this for a long,
Yeah, we
long
can do
time.
this forever.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Interesting.
So we'll be rating it from 0 to 25, and we'll add our scores together at the end and let everybody know if we liked it or not.
Is it good or not? Okay, so panel topics. First one, why do men and women struggle to communicate effectively with one another? Ooh,
Because
questions that need
men ain't
answers.
shit.
Oh,
Pretty much.
okay, so let's use what happened today as an example of this.
Prime example.
Yes.
So we were told by DMurph and Roy that they would be providing us with a bottle of Buttercream Chardonnay. I go to receive the gentleman, and I don't see any wine. And so then he's like, well, see, what had happened was... And my thing is, if you just would have told us, we could have already chilled the wine that we had bought. Because, you know, women are always ready.
Always prepared.
This is a good
Yeah,
discussion.
it's gonna be a good show.
This is gonna be a real good show.
It's gonna be.
I'm liking this already.
It's gonna be what's up right here.
He's like, oh, so you going to put me on the spot?
No, that's
Yeah.
cool. That's good. That's good. That's
Let
good.
me tell you who got me fucked up today.
Do 4 out of 5 podcasters in Houston have Danielle fucked up? I think the answer might be yes. So what happened? Like, what made you not say, oh, okay, well, we don't have the wine?
Well, the biggest thing, like I was telling you, I had text you letting you know that we were still on our way. But I wanted to make sure that we got here in a timely fashion because I didn't want to get here at 5 and say, hey, well, I had to stop and get the drink. And then you said, I thought you were going to be here by 4:30. So that's why I felt like, let me show my face first so you don't think I'm constantly adding on stories on top of stories on top
See,
of
that
stories.
feels just like a dude.
No,
to be like,
he's being real.
I understand that.
Because you
but
could have been like, man, it's 5 o'clock. He
Yeah.
said he was going to be here by 4:15, 4:30. Where's he at now? Well, I had to go get the drink. And then, oh, you ain't even coming. Then by the time you know it.
But you automatically assumed we were gonna think it was a story.
But
That's
we
the
would
issue.
show up at 5 o'clock. I still would have got Danielle. Still would have came to me the same way.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
You know-
because the thing is that you were
Correct.
supposed to be
We're
here.
still going to get the same
Wait,
reaction.
but
If
you
we
were
came
still
in with
supposed
the
to
wine
be here
and late.
by 4 with the wine.
right.
So,
But at least
so
I
please
addressed
tell
it.
our audience where y'all were.
Oh,
Oh, we was
taking care
in
of
Cyprus.
business. We was taking care of some business.
Yeah, we was in Cyprus.
So, guys, they were eating and they still didn't bring us no food. They had no wine and
see,
they
she
showed
said
up
she was
late.
the nice one, and look how she put
That's
y'all
fine.
on.
This is for the world, too, Big Roy. But
I
that's cool.
gravitated towards her thinking she was going to be cool with us. You know, and she
But it's
switched
all
back
good.
sides.
It's all good. But at least we're here. We're still here, and we're going to take it through the whole show. So
But that's where the lapse in communication is because if you would have simply just text and say, hey, I'm on the way. I hadn't had a chance to get the wine yet. I had already stopped and bought wine. I actually bought wine for myself. But if you would have said that, I would have just been like, okay, well, let me just go get the wine that I already have and put it in a freezer for everybody. So it can already be colds. But the lapse in communication where you didn't say, hey, this is what's going on with me versus just going ahead and saying that and thinking that we're going to respond another way. So that's just a way of how men and women communicate differently because in your mind, you're thinking, you know what, let me hurry up and get over here. Let me not be any more later than what I've already said that I'm going to
Right.
be.
Correct.
And I don't want them to get upset with me because of that.
But then you don't bring the primary object that we require of you. And that's just
So the
exactly
detailed
way it is.
part is
Yes,
what
it's-
Right.
they lacked.
Because you could have
know?
been late and brought the wine and been like, oh, it's cool. I understand Houston traffic is ugly. But y'all like, but we're on time, though. But what y'all going to drink?
So the biggest issue was the wine, basically.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
Right.
I mean,
But
that's-
Even though I offered to go, I said,
Yeah.
I said, if I stop right now, it's about 10 minutes away. And listeners, they didn't include that. I said, I can stop right now and go get it. I just wanted to show my face. Is that cool?
And I told
Well,
him,
we
I said, I know
already
this
had a
area, so
bottle.
we can get
Yeah,
there.
we already,
You follow
already
me?
had the bottle.
You didn't know that we already had a bottle.
Right.
But so if you would have let us know that part, then
Yeah.
it would have been like.
So if
okay,
we would have
cool,
got that
don't worry
bottle of
about
wine and got here
And I
at
would've
5,
cussed y'all out
5:30,
when
what
y'all
would have
got
happened?
You should have been like, oh, hey.
Yeah.
Like, low key, like,
For my fellas out there, please chime in on the
I wouldn't
SoundCloud.
I would not have cussed y'all out.
Well,
We would have still got it.
So we'd have walked
Damn
down
it
the
if we
street
do, damn
holding
if
a bottle
we
of
don't.
wine. It would be a different story.
We still would have
But
got
it's
cussed out.
5:30 though, but we holding that bottle of wine.
We would have got cussed
No.
out.
it would have been in her mind, but it wouldn't have came out
If
of
you would
her
have
mouth.
just communicated that part of it, then you wouldn't have had all the extra stuff. going on.
We're doing this for the sake of the show. Let's just make it intense.
Right. This is not a real experience.
It was real, but I appreciate the ladies for understanding, though.
No,
The big homie's human, but he still made it.
No, I mean, it's totally fine, but that was like a perfect example of men and women communicating differently.
Yeah.
Because I would have just been like, hey, so I didn't pick up the wine and I'm running late.
Double whammy.
It's okay, though. And that's like, just like when men try to lie. Oh, I didn't want to hurt you. But you hurt with the lie.
Yeah.
The truth, yeah, it hurts. But the lie is the double whammy. Like, why do you have to hurt me a lot? Like, just hurt me a little bit, you know?
Hurt me a little bit.
Hurt me a little bit.
Or hurt me up front. Tell me, I don't have the wine and I'm late.
Yeah, because everything is workable. Let's just start there. Like, if you have all the information, then you can come to a quick solution. And that's what this is all about, right? I mean, because
perfect. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right, you know, y'all's problem was y'all were running a little bit behind. And so it's like, okay, cool. But you were also supposed to get something else, and you didn't want to, like, further upset us or anything, right?
That was our thought process.
Right. And so that right there is essentially what the problem is. You don't want to further upset us. But we don't have the extra information that goes along with that, which is that you don't have the wine on top of being late. So if we had that information, then we would be able to process it and deal with it all.
Well, how come y'all don't look at it as, okay, well, at least they're trying to get here on time.
I don't
they
give
got
shit about
here.
trying.
You see what I'm saying?
I'm with you, Big Red. You see, I'm
busting my ass down the freeway to get here, but
Shit about
since
you.
I came
My
down the
thing
street,
is,
He's like, I'm about to get stopped by the cop.
yeah, since I
Yeah,
came down
we're
the
to
street,
pushing
make it,
80 on the
and y'all still
highway
not
just
happy.
to be here at a good time
since I
because we
walked
know
down
you
here
guys got
empty-handed,
things to
it's
do.
still a loss.
But
you know?
if y'all had brought the wine and came late, you would have had an excuse to be late. Oh, we had to go find the buttercream.
Keyword find.
Right. Okay,
You know,
we'll let you make it a
Google.
little bit.
It'll tell you. So, I mean, gentlemen, really, why do y'all think it's the lack of communication? Because I know we can go on. Women can go on about why we feel that there is a lack of communication between men and women. But what do y'all think that the reason is?
Just like this, like you said, a prime example. We can continue to stretch it out and not really get anything resolved. But until the next time where it's kind of like, all right, Big Roy, if we invite it again, next time we can be 2 hours late, but as long as we got that bottle of wine.
No.
good.
We didn't say
No.
2 hours late.
2 hours late plus 2 bottles of wine, then everybody be happy then, right?
What? What is this?
See, this
You know, is that the
That
cure?
is not what we said. We said it would have
Is that the
softened
cure?
the blow a little bit had you been late with the wine rather than just late and then not bringing any wine. Yeah. Okay,
I just
so-
don't think there's no win in that. Like, if
for us
it's
anyway,
not
yeah.
no win
To
in
me,
that.
the win is saying, hey, I also don't have the wine. I would have to stop. So do you want me to stop or do you
still
want
just
me
come?
to just go ahead and come straight along?
But as a man is first thought is like, I'm already, like you said, I'm already behind. See, she wrote her own lines already.
Because
you know?
she made it so clear. Hey,
Okay.
I don't have the wine. Do you want me to stop or just continue to come? Hey, it's fine. We have wine. And said, as a man, see. I mean, shit. Okay, as a
you
man.
can say that, but at the same time, we're trying to get here on time. That's our main focus is get here. And
because you ladies might have something to do by
Exactly.
6 or 6:30. It's kind of like, well, now y'all here by 5:15. We only can do maybe a 40-minute show. And
But see, you don't know that until you communicate with us. That's what I'm saying. Is all
Right.
you had to do is say, hey, this is what the situation is. Do you want me to continue or no? Like, so...
But like he said, they can keep stretching it so it
Right,
doesn't
that's what I'm
matter.
saying.
He's like, I don't know what else to tell you.
Right, I'm just being honest. But
like, why is it so hard to just communicate? Like, to
Well-
tell everything that's going on.
Okay, so this is what I found just about like basic communication. Men believe communication should have a clear purpose, and behind every conversation is a problem that needs solving or a point that needs to be made. Communication is used to get to the root of the dilemma as efficiently as possible. And then women use communication to discover how they're feeling and what we want to say. And we see conversation as an act of sharing and an opportunity to increase intimacy. And through sharing, we release the negative feelings, which solidify the bond with a man we love.
my God.
Why do I find
Okay.
this corny ass shit? This is
Really, really
this is worse than WikiHow. But anyway, so I guess the main thing is
They just want to get, the man wants to get to the point. The woman is like, why didn't it happen the way that it was supposed to happen? Basically.
Right. And like for them, they're like, the point was to get there on time. And that's
the
fine.
point was I still got here on time without what you needed, but I still got here, right?
Right.
Look.
I mean, she said the same thing. Like, we're trying to get to the point. And I know y'all want more than that. You know, obviously y'all want more than that, but
you leaving out the details.
I mean, what's
See?
It's okay, Roy.
He's like, what is the point of all them details?
See, if we go on your podcast, we're not gonna know what to say either.
It's fine. So I have a question about like how you guys respond. I know you're married, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Roy, are you also married?
No, ma'am.
No boo, no bae.
No marriage. No, none of that. I'm just me.
So what does that mean?
Just kidding.
As in, with just me. Mm-hmm. It's just me. I'm just in my own world right now. I mean, I'm focused on what I got going on in my life and my career. You know, I mean, I'm not saying I'm not dodging women. Like, I mean, I still talk to women and see women, but I'm not trying to like, you know, not rush anything. You know, so I'm just.
You're
like
not actively pursuing a relationship.
Basically.
I am at the same time, but it's just not. I'm not. Don't roll your eyes. I'm telling you. You know.
No, I was saying I didn't understand.
I'm just not pushing for nothing, rushing into nothing. I'm not running full speed into the first girl I see. Oh, you know what I mean? Drops a knee or a kid and like that. You know.
So when you meet a woman, do you say let's be friends first?
Excuse me, say it again.
When you meet a new woman, do you say you want to be friends first?
You want to be friends? I mean, that's one of the phrases I guess we can use. You know, I don't try to lead people on. That's my biggest thing.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah.
That's my biggest thing, honestly. I don't try to lead nobody. I tell you up front, like, yo, I work this. I'm working this time. I got this going on with podcasts. I got this going on with other fashion stuff. I'll be up front with you.
Fashion stuff? What you doing?
My partner's Marcus Paul got a fashion line.
Oh, okay.
So I'm kind of in corporate with the men's fashion line. I like fashion. I'm into fashion and sports, like my biggest thing. You know, that's my
fashion and sports.
Yeah, it's like
he big time.
Fashion and sports.
So.
DMurph and Big Roy. That's the tune of y'all's little song. Okay, so my question was though, why I asked that about your relationships is because I want to know, like, if your significant other comes to you with a problem, do you just listen to her when she's venting about it? Like, let's say some bitch at work at the water cooler was talking shit, or she's wearing the same shoes as her, or some wild shit. Do you feel like it's your responsibility to fix it, or do you just listen?
I listen. Most of the time, I just listen.
Okay.
But then I speak when I need to. When I believe I need to speak up. But if she, especially after a long day at work, just listen.
See, this is saying that men want to tackle problems like a fireman, and they want to, like, you know.
But as a man, that would be putting unnecessary pressure on me to try to fix everything when you already got, like you said, a wife and kids and everything else going on personally. That if you're trying to fix extra stuff that you can't control based on your example, what somebody wore,
yeah,
it's kind of, I can say that energy for something else.
A lot of men, though, will be like, well, don't wear those shoes again, which will then incite anger. Like, how the fuck would you tell me not to wear these shoes, you know?
Okay, I listen. Again, I just listen, shake my head.
Listen. So basically, you've learned.
I was just about to say he's learned.
Just like when you guys was on, all right, I just know next time that I would be, you know, if we are fortunate enough to get the invite next time.
It's just better to say, baby, it look better on you. You know what I mean?
That's a great response.
You know, instead of saying, oh, don't wear them no more, or...
Well, yeah. Don't say nothing negative for sure.
But that's going to cause her to be like, really, you think so? I just feel like... And then you're going to have to say something else.
And on top of that... That's
so
all right, Big Roy. That's a good show. This is going to be a good show. I like this. Different perspectives.
Yeah. Why are men not more emotionally open?
I think sometimes we wear our heart on our sleeves. Mm-hmm. You know, so our first image, like with me, because I grew up with a number of women. I grew up with grandma, aunt, mama, women is all around me. So I won't say I'm softer, but I got a more sensitive side towards women because I was in the household with women all the time, cooking, all that shopping stuff, all that stuff. So my perception of women is a little different. So growing up, I know I had to be a little tougher and all that stuff, but I don't think like most men want to be seen as looking weaker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know, so we're going to give off that man testosterone.
Tough
we're
image.
tough. I can handle this. I can take this. I can take that load. And, you know, so that's a lot of. I think men don't want to be look like want to look more like strength in a relationship, than weakness.
Well, that's really interesting that you said that, because that's actually what I was going to say. I found a study conducted by Mind Lab, and it came back that men are actually more sensitive than women. Emotional, not sensitive. So they took 15 men and 15 women, and they all watched a series of videos that kind of make you feel something, make you cry or something. And it came back that the men actually reacted more to the content than the women did. So it said, like, basically why they hide it is, like you said, they don't want to be looked at as weak. But I don't think there's anything weak about being emotional,
growing up,
I
just think it's taught,
Yeah, because growing up, I was taught by my uncles and older cousins that, DMurph, you a big dude. You don't want people to think you this soft teddy bear, because they're going to take advantage of you and they're going to laugh at you. Ain't no girl really going to want to do that soft. They need somebody strong that's basically showing, that strength of a man. Again, this is how I was taught, growing up. So it was just one of those things that, like you said, it was just what was taught. But as I've gotten older, I believe it is a balance of times when you can show emotion and other times when you just got to stay strong and fake it till you make it type deal until you can maybe, offside, really show your true feelings.
Yeah.
AKA certain, like you said, in relationships or at work, there are times you just want to cuss out your boss or a coworker. However, there are times you got to bite your tongue and just, all right, so it just depends on the circumstances.
Yeah. And actually they say that feeling more and, sensing everything and like really being in touch with your emotions is actually strength. Because I think it has a lot to do with being vulnerable.
I think it's taught. Like Roy said, he grew up around women, mostly women, and this is why he knows how to kind of balance it out. He knows that there's times he needs to be the man, and then there's times that he needs to kind of soften it for whoever he's dealing with at the time that's a woman. I think a lot of men are taught to be tough, and yes, coming from a woman's perspective, I don't want you to be more sensitive than I am. Right. I don't, if you do have a woman like that, actually I've never met a woman like that in my entire life, that is okay with having a sensitive man, because
there are some, the ones who are comfortable in their masculinity.
I don't know any. My thing is, I don't know any.
Right.
We want the man to be the man, but we also want them to understand where we also come from. So again, like I said, I believe it's taught. I believe it comes from the family. Your dad's always like, if you fall and you're a kid, stand up, don't cry. And that's taught.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Do y'all have kids?
Yeah.
He had kids. I don't have kids.
Okay.
I don't have kids.
You have kids? Mm-hmm. Do you have a son? What do you tell your son when he falls?
Get up.
Do you tell him it's okay to cry?
No.
Exactly, because it's taught. So I believe that's where the problem comes, that we don't teach the men.
But as you get older, there'll be a time where I can say, all right, son, there are times when you can. When you're okay. Right,
so
right. But initially, it's kind of like, man
toughen
up. Yeah, just because right now, as he goes to school, you don't want him to think that kids can push him and that he can just, easily cry and just, not defend himself.
Right.
Well, I'm a female, and my dad was like that. Like, why are you crying? Shut the fuck up. Like, to me, and I'm a little girl, So, but I don't have there's across the board, I'm just like, why is everyone crying? Be quiet. To my son and my daughter.
So it was taught to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of like, you're going to experience a lot of shit. You're going to experience a lot of things. There's going to be pain every day. Something that, is uncomfortable to you. You can't cry about everything. Exactly. And that's kind of what I teach my son. Of course, if he's really upset about something and he's crying, I will be a mama and lay that head on my bosom and pat him on the back, and hug him and make sure that, he's gets it all out, because I think that's important. I mean, we talked about that before, like really letting everything go if you're feeling
now
something.
What about the guys and ladies, and whether you have heard, but I've heard guys that tell me, yo, DMurph, man, a girl didn't like me because I actually was opening up to her to the point to where she thought I talked too much.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, some dudes are not gonna just open up just to anybody. Like, we gotta be, we're gonna be rocking with you for a extended period of time, or and then it comes to trust, and all that stuff.
And it takes y'all a lot longer usually.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
So when it's happening really quickly, that's when women kind of go,
like, where this come from?
There's some issue here. It's like
Yeah.
a red flag because, it's kind of different because we're not used to that. Shit, it can take 2 years for your man to be like, okay, I actually really love you.
Yeah, it's a red flag. Like for a lot of women, it's a red flag. If you're, if you're sensitive and you're like, you're trying to get all this across in a matter of 2 months, and you're like, man, I love you. It's a red flag to us women because we're not used to it. Usually, like she said, it takes a while, and that's when men really start opening up. But like from the bang, it's a red flag.
I mean, it's the same for men. I mean, if women start being extra and fall in love with you all fast, you're like,
or and I miss you every other day.
The way
because
that
I
I
missed
just
you a
seen
week
you
ago.
yesterday. I do.
That's why when somebody hits you with the "I love you" so quick and the dude don't respond back, you looking at him like, you trying to get hit or something.
So what do you do in that case? Like,
what if a woman tells
fine.
me I love you, and I don't say it back? What do you mean? What do I do in that case? What do you do in that case if I don't say it back? That's the bigger issue.
no, my question is because we're very sensitive women. What if the woman does really like you, and
like a love?
Well, see, this is what we always talked about. Feelings are the time is man-made. Everyone wants to put a time frame on certain things. You may not feel the same way she does, but you're putting time frame on it. She's not putting any time frame on it. So if she does fall for you faster, it doesn't make her a bad person, and it doesn't mean that she has issues. It goes the same thing for the men. If the men come and they're like, hey, man, I really do like you, it is a red flag to us. But like I said, I guess I'm just different. I just don't think there's a time on how you can feel about someone because it's just man-made. People always say you need 6, 7
So you
months.
believe in love at first sight?
I do.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well, first sight, as in like first date, or what do y'all mean? Like,
I'll tell you, I'll give 2 stories. First story, this guy that I was in love, like madly in love with for like maybe 10 years. Like,
look, DMurph done brought something out, big boy.
like 10 years.
Okay.
We, like the very first moment that I saw him, like I remember my head was like on a swivel. Like I turned all the way. I was like, who is that?
When
And
I
then,
first
like-
saw you,
Oh my God.
I said, oh my,
Hey.
All right, let's stop it.
that's my dream. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so and from that moment on, now the feeling was mutual, so it wasn't.
You weren't stalking him.
Yeah, there you go.
It wasn't weird because I mean, within a week we were like pretty much inseparable, like seriously, and so I mean that was, I wouldn't say like it was full blown love. Like I mean at that point it's probably lust, but I was really really into him. So I mean that's why I believe that you can actually, have strong feelings for a person when you first meet them. Now, the second story that I was going to tell was about a guy that was emotional. We went on maybe like 2 or 3 dates, and he was a really, really nice guy. He really cared about people. Like he was like a big brother or something, whatever like that. And this one of his students, I guess, I don't know what you call them, but one of the boys, mentees. Okay, so like he was really kind of like attached in like a father figure type role to this guy. He was really like doing a lot of stuff for him, like going completely out of his way because this guy, his mother had abandoned him, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And so he felt like he loved him as his own child. And so when the love necessarily wasn't returned the same way, like he was actually he was hurt. He was heartbroken behind it because he was like, here I am doing all of this stuff for this guy. And, he doesn't appreciate any of the things that I'm going out of my way to do for him. And he actually cried. I got weird.
Yeah, but you always get weird when people cry.
When people cry. But I was just like...
Look, Dan, you're about to. Murph, what you doing? This is emotional. No.
Please don't cry. Please don't, because
She will look at you and be like,
I don't know what to do right now. Like that's how I was sitting there, and he was crying.
You want to hug me? Like,
No.
Murph, you okay?
I'm okay.
She really wouldn't. She would look at you like, why the fuck you crying?
Exactly. She'll make a
Yeah.
fucked up face
So
and
it
be
was
like,
it was really strange to me that he was so open Like he had, like his feelings were like he literally wore his feelings on his sleeve. Like he did not care about how you receive his feelings. His feelings needed to come out.
That's me.
I know.
For real.
So much love in
Fuck
the
you,
air
Danielle.
tonight.
But I mean, I respected that about him because it was more so like, this is who I am. Either you're going to accept me or not. And if you don't accept me, that's cool. It is what it is. I mean,
That's vulnerability.
It is. Like, I don't, if that's how you are, like, if you're an emotional person and you want to just put that out there, then do you. Like, do what makes you feel good. Don't stop being that person simply because somebody else didn't accept you.
Right, because there's somebody who will.
Yeah.
And just like that's what I was saying, there are women who are comfortable with men who are a little bit, I'm not going to say effeminate, but emotional. They're like, I don't like the way you did. And they tell you instead of being like, it's cool, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you have your real self.
Like, but I guess, like, with some people, like, you have to feel comfortable enough to open.
Yeah, and that's with everybody.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. If you vibe with that girl and there's some type of real chemistry with her, a dude would do like maybe do what he did. But with me, it's just like it's like me. If I can vibe with you and I feel like I'm sitting here telling you my childhood or whatever, how I grew up, whatever, I'm telling you this because I'm trying to get somewhere with you. You know what I mean? I just don't open up. First thing I see, oh yeah, I grew up here. I grew up in Atlanta. I grew up here too.
And then you trying to see if she receive it too.
Yeah.
Where she, like you said, like
You know?
to Danielle's point, she might look at you and say, "You didn't what?
Yeah.
You like fashion? You like what? You didn't move a lot. You know what? You unstable." I mean, just just to say it as an example. But then this next woman might come along and say, "Man, that's dope. You know, I did a lot of traveling too. Thank you for sharing your emotions with me." And then she might piggyback off you, and then by the time you know it, you invited me as one of the best men.
Does anybody say, though, thank you for sharing your emotions with me?
I do.
Do you really?
Yeah, I say appreciate it because, like you said, we having a conversation about people like to hold stuff in.
Thank you.
I want you. I'm like,
Yeah.
thank you because I've been, dating or I've been in relationships. And it's kind of like you got to force stuff out of people.
I don't even know how to answer back.
And when you go to like AA meetings or like meetings like that, everybody, shut up, bitch.
But it was just such a weird segue. I'm so sorry.
They think everyone claps or says thank you for sharing because that being open like that, it is scary for people. And you wouldn't know, bitch, because you don't never talk about shit. Oh, okay, here we are.
This is a good show, Big
We're
Roy.
at the
Can't
point
wait
in the
to listen to
episode
this.
where Danielle got me fucked up.
Uh-oh.
Dear diary,
Oh shoot!
Danielle got me fucked up.
As normal.
Yeah.
Okay. I a boss.
I love it.
Oh my God.
I'm not telling that
You
story.
know, so sorry.
I'm not telling that story.
Y'all gonna hear us say I a boss and just please ignore it. Danielle experienced something. It was pretty hilarious this week. And let's just say it ended with the other party saying I a boss. And they were serious. Okay. I want to
Interesting.
play
I was like,
the
man,
game.
what they gonna say?
I want to play the game. Does anybody have anything else to add to that last topic
No,
before
let's
we
move
move on to
forward.
the game? Well, I'm having some technical difficulties.
Oh, are you?
Just kidding. Okay. I found it. All right. So I hope you guys know all about March Madness, not just this year, ever since it started.
In life. So.
You can DMurph all about the college basketball. So
Well, then.
They don't do that, Big Roy.
I mean, I didn't play college basketball. I just, like I said, I know about the moment. I know a little history.
So
I
what
mean,
Roy's saying is he not going to be playing the game because
I'm in the
he
game.
can't
Don't
answer
count me out.
questions.
Never count me out.
Oh, shit.
But I'm in the
Oh,
game.
shit.
I'm
Well,
in the game.
then
like, I'm
you
in
should've
this.
just let me get started.
Communication, Big Roy.
There we go. But I thank you for
Trying.
sharing.
Listening is a part of communication.
I'm a
Big
good
Roy.
listener, though. I'm a real good
I
listener.
appreciate you sharing.
I try.
I appreciate you sharing your feelings.
Yes. Okay. Are y'all ready? We got 10 questions.
You gonna
All
help us out?
We've
Bet.
got our future guest here in the studio with us.
And he's trying to get a
Super fan,
lifeline.
Charles Sherrard. He's here with us.
My dog.
Okay. So, though no number 16 seed has defeated a number 1 seed in the tournament, 8 number 15s have stunned number 2s, including 3 from the state of Virginia. Which of the following did not pull this off? Hampton, Longwood, Norfolk State, or Richmond? Do you need me to read the question again?
Longwood.
It turned green. I guess that's right. Longwood joined Division One in 2012 and has not made the tournament. I don't know. Richmond beat Syracuse in 1991. I don't know what color
It was correct. Go to the next one.
See what I'm saying? Listen, she can't even give her brother props and got to double check to make sure as a man, this is what we got to deal with. But I'm going to stay persistent and still answer the questions to the best of my knowledge.
Just save it, dude. Just
Okay, I'm in my zone now.
Okay, here your zone.
Michelle got D-Murphy fucked up.
Really do. She said it for us. Danielle said it
I
for us.
appreciate
You know
you.
what I'm saying?
I'm sorry I
appreciate
had
y'all.
you fucked up.
It ain't nothing but love.
Y'all say tuned and in touch for when we release the You Got Me Fucked Up t-shirts. Okay.
I need one.
I need a 2X.
The list of the top scorers in an NCAA game includes superstars like Bill Bradley, Oscar Robertson, and David Robinson. But what less heralded player occupies 3 of the top 5 spots? Austin Carr. You need me to name the school too? Fred Cohen, Jeff Fryer, or Travis Mays?
I have no clue.
Man, I'm going to say Austin Carr just to answer the question. Unless you can help us out, man.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah, here getting a lifeline.
Yeah, Carr scored 61 against Ohio in 1970. All right.
You can't be asking people that ain't on the show.
Oh,
right
I don't have a lifeline?
No,
Man.
this is your lifeline
you.
next to
Yeah,
you.
but
But he just told me he couldn't help me, so I had to go to my dog,
That's
Mr.
all right.
Chuck.
now. No.
Okay. It's okay.
Y'all see how I get treated, listeners, on Between Us Girls?
Hey, don't worry about it. I get treated like that too. You should
Oh,
see
okay.
how she'll be like, no, start over. Yeah,
Damn.
she's a mean.
I like
she's a
Michelle
mean.
looking out for the big homie today. That's what I'm talking
She just had you fucked up.
I did.
But you see how I stayed persistent now. That's my girl.
Oh, my
we cool
God.
like that. We gonna chop it up. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay, so third question. Glenn Rice of Michigan holds the record for points in the tournament with 184 in 1989, but he did not hit the winning free throw in the overtime to beat Seton Hall in the final. Which team beat Seton Hall in that final? Which teammate? Demetrius, Caleb, Terry Mills. Why is his name Ramil? I need you to change your name. Ramil Robinson or Loy Vaught? Which one?
Ramil Robinson.
Okay, it was him. I still need him to change his name.
Is that a bad name or
It was difficult for me to.
what is it called? Romeo?
Yeah, his name is Ramil
Ramil.
Robinson.
Are you?
M-E-A-L.
So like
Meal.
Rue Meal.
Root meal.
Romeo.
See, you're laughing too.
I mean, so like, I'm sorry, but I'm upset with your mom right now.
Make it
Okay.
easier on me.
You please.
See, that leads to a next question, but I don't want to go off topic.
Yeah.
Well, I can. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna read you 2 more questions,
Okay.
and then you can get off topic.
Thank
All right.
you. I like this.
What team has made the most NCAA tournament appearances without making a Final Four? Boston College, Brigham Young, Georgia, or Missouri? Why are you so serious?
Say that third team.
in
I
his
didn't,
own.
I didn't hit the third
The
school.
third team was BYU,
Georgia.
wasn't it? You said Brigham Young in there?
Yeah. So it's Boston College, Brigham Young, Georgia, and Missouri. I know, right?
I know Brigham Young. That's
Yeah, I'm going to say
the
BYU.
first thing that came to my head was Brigham Young.
Aha. It was BYU. You guys know your shit. Okay. One
Why
more
not
question.
sports? Hashtag. Check us out.
Okay. One more question. What college has the current longest drought since last making the tournament? Bowling Green, Rutgers, Rice, or Dartmouth? This is the last one. Don't fuck it up.
Oh, he's stressing.
Hashtag don't
Oh,
fuck it up.
He's thinking really hard right now.
Can you
It's,
repeat the
it's
answer?
it's not Rice, though, because Rice was there a
got-
couple years ago.
You want me to read the whole question?
No,
and
this
everything
is
else?
just the schools.
Okay. Bowling Green, Rutgers, Rice, Dartmouth. Look at Chuck. He's thinking real hard.
You gotta go. You gotta do it. Pick one.
I want to
go
say
with your heart, son.
I want to say Dartmouth. I know the school, but I don't know how to pronounce it. That's
Yeah,
what I want to say.
I
Let's
was
go.
going to say
Dark.
Rutgers, but
Y'all got
Let's go with Dartmouth.
32 seconds.
Dartmouth is the final answer.
Dark Vader? Okay.
Darth Vader.
That's what I thought when I saw it. I was like,
Big
Darth
Roy
Vader.
coming through in the clutch.
Two in a row.
Way to go,
dog.
guys. You got 5 out of
my
5.
dog.
Look at the teammate.
Darth Vader.
Dog.
Tapping
I'm
in.
so proud of you.
Thank you.
Okay, so how did y'all like the wine?
I really like that a lot. I like the opinions from the female. So
Thank you, Roy. I'm talking about the wine specifically.
Yeah, hopefully this shows. hopefully this shows you I enjoyed it.
I mean, shit. Jen, what's your score?
I do. I actually do like it. It's really good.
You got to give it a number, even if you make it up.
I probably would say 25. Actually, I do like it.
Okay, Danielle, I know you gave it a 33.
I did because I drink this like
Every day.
Every day.
She inboxed me. She's like,
you know I like Chardonnay.
"Oh my god, she did. She told us all.
Yes, I love
You
Chardonnay.
did. You said, "Oh, I found this. It tastes
Oh
good."
yeah. Okay, whatever.
I'm not gonna say
Reading
why you
is
don't
fundamental
know.
sometimes.
I don't remember. Whatever. But yeah, I did. I like it a lot.
So I feel like I'm about to be the person who has the unpopular opinion.
You don't like it?
I don't dislike it because I drank it. This is probably my second glass. But the first taste of it, it's like, what the fuck is this though? Because it almost didn't taste like wine. Sort of tastes like, when you're a kid and you put something in your mouth that you're not supposed to, like maybe like
The fuck?
bug spray, like something that you're not supposed to have, like bug spray or glue or something. It has a weird taste to it.
What the fuck is
Listen,
wrong with you?
I used to taste that. I
never
used to
ate
be a
glue
taster.
before.
Oh
As
my
a
God.
child. Anyway,
or
it has a
anything
funny
else.
taste to it in the beginning. It don't taste like no wine.
I am so concerned about you.
You should be.
Okay. Well, this one, it actually tastes a whole lot better when it's ice cold. And if our counterparts over here,
If they had brought the wine,
I
will
agree.
leave it alone. I
I
will
think
leave
it would
alone.
taste
I'll
really
leave it
good, like super.
Yeah,
super
when it's
cold.
super cold, it has like a little bit of a different flavor to it when it's super cold. Like you can actually taste like the creamy part of it.
It's
I
buttery
did taste
already.
more of that softness after it froze.
Yeah.
Because I put it in the freezer, so I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna make this cold," because she said it needed to be cold.
Yeah, it needs to be.
And then
As long
I
as you
went
didn't
back
put
to go
ice
get
in
it,
it.
and it was frozen, so it did have a little bit of ice in it, but it's okay. Because I do whatever the fuck I want, right?
Pretty much. So.
Ice and wine, whatever.
Let's just not go there though.
I'll always love my mama.
Shit just got weird.
She got them bars. You know what I'm saying? No,
She doesn't
cool.
like my singing voice. She's a fucking hater, okay? All right, so we all enjoyed the wine then? Mm-hmm. I mean, it was cool. I probably would give it a 20. You laugh at me because I'm not really using the scorecard, but I'll give it a 20. Okay, well. Okay, so we totally appreciate you guys coming.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Even though we got a little bit off topic, it's okay.
The listeners are going to enjoy it.
They'll love it.
I
I'm so
agree.
excited to share us with your listeners, even though, some may have already heard us. There are
like
some who
shade.
haven't. What?
Okay. Oh no, let's go.
No, that's not shade at all.
Oh, no.
Same difference, vice versa.
Yeah.
Plus, I got the flagrant 2 and down with the DM. So
Yeah,
it's
I was gonna
definitely-
ask you about
it's definitely
that.
versatile.
What
as
is-
You
far,
have
as far
2?
as me is concerned.
You have 2 now?
A total of 3. I got the
So-
flagrant 2 and then down with the DMs.
What is down with the DMs?
That's basically myself and Penrose Eames. He's another guy. His name is Derek Moore.
Okay.
So what we do is basically talk about.
2D.
So you didn't call it.
exactly,
You didn't
exactly.
call
And
it-
people,
blown.
yeah, and people have been sliding DMs, so we read off people's DMs.
Okay, that
So,
makes sense.
yeah.
Got it.
So I have heard Flagrant 2 is down with the Derricks come out yet?
Yeah, we had the first episode 2 weeks ago, so that's a bi-weekly, and the next one will be
Down
other
with
two.
a Derek.
So you are just really busy then.
Yeah.
So
I do.
again, y'all, yes, I am.
That's why you didn't bring the wine, because you can't remember what the fuck.
I'm just.
You're like,
But
you're
I
like,
knew
what am I about to
knew
go
I had an
record?
event with the ladies today, though. I wasn't gonna turn that down. They'd be like, yeah, DMurph putting me on blast on Twitter. Yeah, you didn't show up, so at least I came.
Yeah,
That's
that would
Twitter
have
queen right there.
That would have happened. Queen
Yeah.
tweet would have been like,
So-
I wouldn't have
DMurph
put you on
didn't
blast
show
on
No,
up.
it would have been her.
So,
I would've said it.
so listeners, all I can say, yes, I am busy, but at the same time, I definitely will do what I can to get here. And next time, I'll.
We're bringing 2 bottles next.
Yeah, I mean, we'll make if we invited again, listeners, so y'all can just
No,
let
we good.
between us girls give us
Aw,
another
Danielle.
chance. We can definitely make it up to them. See, that's what type of man I am. Of course, Big Roy just said it.
Well, Charles bought us 4 bottles of wine.
that's why he's doing the gentleman episode, though,
Hey,
right?
hey, Chuck.
Charles,
It's
trying to get us
certain
drunk?
things that are allowed and are not allowed. You the man.
Charles trying to get us
it's
drunk,
certain
y'all.
standards that are achievable, and there's certain standards that you just go, hey, man,
sets
you on
the
your own.
bar.
Yeah.
Damn.
You the man.
No, it was really good having y'all. Mel's perspective is always really good, for all of us. So it was good to have y'all here. And
thank you.
Nice meeting you, Roy. And
thank you.
Good seeing you again.
Yes, ma'am.
I can't tell today's my brother's birthday.
Oh,
My little brother Chris.
Happy birthday, brother.
Happy birthday, Chris, bro. I'll see you in a couple hours, man. I appreciate that.
He doesn't know, but he'll know in a few minutes.
Roy really loves his family.
I
That's
do.
beautiful.
I'm a family man, so I ain't got no kids and like that, but I'm a real family man.
Yeah.
So.
Is that your only brother?
I have two brothers and a sister. I have a brother in California who just left here last week. He's fell in love with Houston since he came here to Super Bowl because we're from Atlanta. And I have a sister at Georgia Southern, and she's in law school trying to be a judge. So,
Oh, wow. I love seeing black girls up there behind that.
yeah. So she's working on
You're
it.
going to make
Pop
it,
that
sister.
gavel.
That's
And
it.
I'm going to need her to be that judge,
Pop
too.
that
So,
gavel.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, once again, thank you guys for coming.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
As usual, you can listen to us on SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play, and iTunes, and social media, Facebook, Between Us Girls, the podcast, Instagram, Between Us Girls Podcast, Twitter, at Girl Talking Wine, and you can join our Facebook group. That is, if you have a real page.
Yes, because we know.
Just search Between Us Girls in the groups. Danielle.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on Between Us Girls. But don't keep it a secret. Listen and share with everyone you know. See you next week.